All right. Guys, all right, quiz 11. All right, quiz 11. Here's what I'm going to do since there's really no time for redos. I'm putting quiz 11 into the grade book if it helped you. If it did help you, that's not counting. Okay, so if the win has an 80 and he got 10 out of 12, which would help him, it'll go in. If he had a 90, 10 out of 12 would not go in. If for whatever reason you missed it, you don't have to make it up. Okay, so we'll just add that for that there. I'll do a review tonight at 7:45. I'll also be here tomorrow at 7:45. If you have any questions, like you took the practice test, which is posted, and you don't understand why number 12 is D or something like that. I think tomorrow is a very gettable type multiple choice to get up to a good start. I'm only going to hold you responsible for the negative externality on the producers and the positive externality on the consumers. All right, so we'll go over those two graphs today there. And if you know all, yes, sir. Go.
I was going to ask if these notes are also going to be on the test, like what we're doing today.
Yeah, it's always it.
Oh, it is reviewed.
Yeah, it's always. It gets the very, very, very.
Wait, I didn't know Gini coefficients. You said negative externality. That said positive.
Go.
What did you say? We're responsible for now.
The only two externalities is the producer on negative and the consumer on positive, and we'll go over both of those things.
Yeah, and that's for the FRQ and multiple choice.
Just the local choice. I'll probably do the same thing. Okay. All right. I'm on my 8th. Okay. All right. So you start off with Gini coefficient. Is that the first thing there?
Yes.
All right. So that its main purpose is to show income equality in a country. All right. The Gini coefficient of 0 means everyone has the same income. Not to you, but you just got this thing. I need to get better at this. Okay, and then 1 is the most fair. So 0 would be socialism, meaning everyone's getting the same. 1 is Jackson has all the money. Socialism.
What do you want, like a 0.5?
I mean, the United States is like 0.46, 0.48. I mean, it depends what you want, but like anytime, the closer you're getting to 0, just realize the closer you're getting to what they would say is everyone has the same income.
Is there like a certain number that like countries should try to strive for?
Again, it depends. Like if you're in like Sweden, which is a socialist country, you're trying to go to 0, right? But when you're in the United States, which is trying to get in between, we're trying to get like 0.5, between 0.45 and 0.5.
The 0 is called socialism.
Yeah. Yes.
Would we ever be asked to interpret a Gini number?
I mean, here's what they could say. The Gini coefficient of the Soviet Union is like 0.2. The Gini coefficient of the United States is 0.8. Which of these two countries has the most fair distribution of income? It'd be the 0.2.
So if it's a 0 and everybody has like equal purchasing power, how does that affect markets?
I mean, there's a whole argument, obviously, against socialism, because if everyone's kind of making the same income, there's no incentive for you to work hard, right? So that would be the argument against. Okay, no economic rent. I'll be nice. No economic rent on your thing. Can I just get this out of the way though? So Okay, so what is a market failure? Is that the next thing?
Let's do down.
Okay.
It's on there though.
Okay. All right. So all right, all you need is that first line, a situation in which the free market system fails to satisfy society's wants. And I would almost say a situation where the free market system doesn't allocate its resources efficiently, which is the next line. For the two lactes, we'll do better today. Morris, I can. The smart money's on Morris. We good? Okay. So here's the 4 market failures, right? That's below that. And one is public goods. We'll talk more about public goods in a second. The second is externalities. And the key to remember externalities is that third person side effect. That me getting the flu is not an externality. Or me not getting the flu is not an externality if I got a shot. Me not getting the flu because Prescott got a shot, therefore he didn't get me sick, is an externality. All right, monopolies. And then the fourth one is unfair distribution of income, which part of that was the Gini coefficient. Okay. And in each of these, anytime there's a market failure, government is going to intervene to try to make the market more efficient. There's not even free riders on here, huh? All right, go to the last page where there's like emptiness and just stick in free riders. All right, free riders are individuals that benefit without pay. Okay, you could think people in group work who are not doing the group work. You could think of people who jump the, turnstile in the train, people who ride the train and don't pay. Yes, sir.
Would you be a free rider if you didn't pay taxes?
Like someone who's making money.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or like if you're too young.
Well, we could say you are a free rider if you don't work and pay taxes because you're benefiting. Yes. Like, especially, Mason, if you went to public school, because you're benefiting, even though I guess your parents are paying.
It's not a free rider who have like ways to get out of taxes. Like a farm, and like upstairs house and then
No, because you're just benefiting by a government. Yeah.
Well, you would be a free rider if like you don't work and like receive welfare benefits, right?
Well, technicality is part of the system, but yeah. Yeah, I would say you could say that. Okay. So there's the free rider. What? We're all mixed up here, huh? Yeah. Oh, is there not even public goods on here?
There's two on there.
Huh?
It's two blunders.
All right, put public goods on the empty spaces. Gee. I don't know, we gotta make it go. What did we have last time?
65.
All right, 55.
Keep track of press stuff.
Prescott doesn't want it.
What do we know? I mean, like how many he gets. What do we give this Bob?
We'll get you something.
Everyone gets 10% extra.
Pizza party.
Yeah, maybe we'll get some food. All right, to be a true public good, it must meet two criteria. Okay. One is non-exclusion. Remember, any form of money would exclude. And by the way, there's, I think, 5 questions on public good. All right, so everyone could use the good. Horrible. All right. So national defense, right? And we're talking about like free riding before, but if you pay taxes or no taxes, everyone's going to get national defense. And the second is shared consumption or non-rival. I think they use non-rival a lot more than shared. Non-rival means Prescott using the good does not reduce my enjoyment. And again, national defense is a public good, public schools are a public good, public parks are a public good. Yes, sir.
Like ever anything that's the opposite of rival, like if the other person benefits if somebody else uses the good.
Are you asking me what rival is?
No, like is there anything else where if somebody else uses the good, the other person using it benefits? Kind of like the opposite.
You mean like you using the good allows me to benefit?
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that would be like a positive externality, right? You taking a flu shot, I benefit, right? Yeah. Okay. Good thinking there. All right, let's add these. What the hell is going? Yeah, let's add these 3 to the under the public goods section. So what are private goods? Private goods are excludable and rival. Excludable and rival. So if Donnie has a cheeseburger, well, he has to pay for it, so that's excludable. I might not be able to afford it. Then if he takes a bite or 2 out of the cheeseburger, it makes my consumption of that cheeseburger not as enjoyable. All right, the next one is natural monopoly or club good. That's excludable and non-rival. Excludable and non-rival. My example of that would be cable TV. Right? Yeah. Sure. Excludable and non-rival. Excludable, Dom, because you have to pay for it, right? Non-rival, because if you're watching a game on cable, it doesn't impact my enjoyment in my house, okay? And then the last one is common resources, which is non-excludable and rival. Non-excludable and rival. And you could think of fishing. So you can't prevent someone from throwing their rod in the water. That makes it non-excludable. And it's rival. However, if Prescott catches all the fish and there's no fish for me, that makes my enjoyment less. The last thing I would say is, anytime something is non-excludable, you could free ride it. Okay. Because you don't have to pay. Like if I wanted to charge you to fish, yeah. We finally get to externalities. All right, so let me just say, what are externalities? There was a definition. An externality is where a third party either benefits, either gets a benefit or a cost. So an externality is where a third party either gets a benefit or a cost. Okay. And what's coming up here? All right, so what's coming up here is negative externality, okay? And I said, I'm only holding you to the one on the computer. Jack, I know I told you it was a negative externality, but if they put this graph up and said, what type of externality was it? How would you know it was negative? Okay, so anytime we go from private to social, going left, it's a negative externality. All right, so there's definitely going to be like a graph here that says it's a negative externality. Like they're going to show it to you and they're going to ask you what type. So if it goes left. All right. Remember the market, we underproduce, right? So the more it's going to go market. And then when the two socials meet, that's the optimum. Okay. I think that's important too, because they're going to put numbers, and let's just say they put 7 and 10, and they put 8 and 9. They're going to ask you, they're going to put this up and go, what is the price and quantity at the market? Which would be 7 and 10. Then the price at quantity at optimal. So you're going to have to be able to know which one's market and which one's optimal. If I take the market line straight up, that's the external cost. Okay. If there's a cost, it's a negative externality. All right. So if they mention something like external cost, it's a negative externality. There is your deadweight loss. That's a hard one. I think the multiple choice, but one I would think would be on FRQ. Then how does government fix this externality? What do they do? They tax it, okay? So you would want to tax it the amount of the external cost. So they're going to tax it, okay? Tyler, after the tax, what happens to deadweight loss? You get rid of it because you get to the optimal, so there is no deadweight loss. Okay. Those are the type of questions that I think would be on the multiple choice tomorrow. Like showing you this graph and saying, what's the market price and quantity? Or what's the optimal price of quantity? is it a negative or a positive externality? What's the external cost? And having a line like that, an external cost would be 10 minus 7 is 3. Okay. Any questions on this? Just remember, there's 15 questions on externalities.
So to get the externality, it's the quantity of the market up to the
supply
line and then over.
Yeah. Okay. All right. This is just doing the tax. We just did that. That's doing what someone said. It disappeared. Okay. All right. Here is. That was just. All right. So now we're going to get to positive on the consumer. Okay. Billy, besides that I told you, how would you know it's a positive externality?
Because the social is above the
Okay, so you're shifting right? Okay, anytime you're shifting to the right, private to social, you're going on to positive, right? Okay. All right. Now again, you know, they could ask you the same type. They could put 7 and 10 and 9 and 12 and ask you like the market, right? So remember, when the two socials meet, that's going to be the optimal, all right? Like the other one, I take my line straight up from the market, except this is external benefit. Anytime I see an external benefit, what do I know? I know it's a positive externality. Now, a lot of times they use the word internalize. All that internalize means is either just like here, treat it like the subsidy, or in a negative externality, treat it like the tax. Just means that the company is going to, you know, shift over there.
So internalize is always going to what? Just for optimal.
The internalize is getting you to the optimal.
Yeah.
Okay. It could be with or without. All right. Again, here is your deadweight loss. Triangles pointing to the optimal. All right. We're under allocating, so it's market optimal. And I truly think there's like a lot of questions, and there's 2 or 3 questions that will ask you to figure out where the market is and where the optimal is. So if you understand the negative externality graph and the positive externality graph, you should be able to get a lot of questions.
What's the bracket in between QE and QO?
Between what? Say it again.
QE and QO.
Oh, that would be under allocation. Okay. All right, and this is just some more of what we talked about under allocation, government. Daniel, how does government fix this one? It's subsidy, right? It's a subsidy. Now, there's 15 questions on externalities on the test. Okay. And,
will there be those graphs that we did on the quiz that were like, if they have $200, how many licenses can you afford?
say it again?
Will there be questions like one of the practice that we did on Friday, where they was like, if they had $400, how many licenses can you afford? The tables.
I don't think they're on checklist.
Graph could be like a demo flu shot or.
Correct.
And then the negative one could be like cigarettes.
Or pollution.
Pollution.
Here's another one they like to ask. At the market. All right. It's at the market. I just put a dot at the market. What's higher? Marginal private benefit or marginal social benefit? Well, here's marginal private benefit. Here's marginal social benefit. Marginal social benefit's higher. At the market, what's higher? Marginal private benefit or marginal social cost? That's marginal social cost up here. Here's marginal private benefit, that's it. All right. So when they ask those questions, don't try to memorize them. Just go to a graph, either draw one, or there's probably going to be one on. You know what I mean? Because there's questions of the graphs. Go to that graph, put the dot in. Okay. At the market, we're here, positive externality, and we're comparing it to this. All right. They love those type of questions. I like when you ask questions that are easy for me to answer. All right. And I think there's, if you take the practice test, I think there's a lot of questions on the God bless you, on the externalities that would get you very well prepared. My guess is the practice test is equally as hard, if not harder, which is good, right? Better for the practice. Jack, how you doing?
Doing good.
No. It's amazing, Mason. I'm shocked too. All right. I'll give you a second because to jot down the monopoly, because there's 2 questions on this monopoly graph. Is there a spot for it regulating monopolies? Okay. I had to get one right. You know. What? You're not going to have to graph it. You're going to have to recognize it. Yes. You should be good at this. You guys are very good on it. On this graph? The midterm, pretty much equal. Which is good because on most of the tests, I think we're a little behind. I know sometimes it's confusing. So the ATC is the blue and the MC is the red.
Wait, this wrestling.
Yes.
What's that point where it says MR equals MC?
That's profit maximizer. So here's MC equals MR. That's what monopoly.
Okay.
Jack, that's what the monopolies want.
Yeah.
Socially optimal is probably what consumers want. Fair return is the compromise.
I didn't think I was going up from PC.
Okay. All right. Just remember, fair return is normal profits, which means zero economic, but sometimes they call it normal profits and zero economic. So they're not making economic profit, but they're going to make accounting profit. And at MC, just remember you're losing money. So a subsidy is probably going to happen. Okay. And both fair return and socially optimal are price ceilings. How's the temperature there in Puerto Rico, Jack?
It was nice. Real warm.
It wasn't that warm in Florida.
Why not?
I don't know.
Maybe global warming is a myth.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Did you go to Florida, Mr. Ross?
Yeah.
Where in Florida?
Fort Myers.
It's right by Naples.
Yeah, well, an hour, I think.
Yeah, but that's like
Yeah. There's a lot of destruction.
from the hurricane.
Yeah. Okay, we good? I hit golf balls. I don't think what I did was considered playing golf, though.
Playing golf in Florida is
Huh? No, because it was. All right, here is the Lorenz curve. Yeah. All right, that straight line, that's zero Gini coefficient, meaning everything is equal.
not even a curve.
What'd you say?
I said it's not even a curve.
Oh, there we go. We got a little curvature there for you. All right. This is, say, the actual distribution for the United States. Okay. Now, what they could ask you is what type of tax would get you from the actual distribution to equality, any type of progressive tax, because you're taxing the richer people more. And kind of in the United States, we have that. All right. So there is your progressive tax moving there. Now,
Progressive tax gets it equal.
it doesn't get it, it gets it closer. Yeah. Okay. Now, they also could throw like these two lines, the red and the black, and say, put A and B and say which one is more equal. You know, which one's income is more equal. Well, the closer you get to the straight line, the more income equality that is. Okay. All right, then we have, did I give you? Yeah, I put progressive tax, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, you got your three types of tax. Progressive takes the largest percent of income from the highest income. So not only if you make $1 million, you're going to pay 33%, say, compared to me paying 15%, you're paying a bigger percent or a large amount of money. That's the United States income tax system. And that's the one that would move the Gini coefficient from actual to that red that moves closer. Okay. All right, the proportional tax takes the same. Remember, these are percentage of income. So the proportional tax takes the same percentage of income. So that would mean everyone would get charged 15% on how much income they make. I actually don't know anywhere that uses, but people have. Steve Forbes was a big person who argued for it. Yes. I think Lorenz curve and Gini coefficient are one each.
How many tax questions are there?
I think there are two. The hard tax question is the last one. Okay, the regressive tax. That takes a larger percent from the low income. Because they never ask it that way. I'll bet you jot that down.
You did mostly everything. Progressive.
Sales taxes, tolls are anything that isn't a percentage of your income. So when it's a percentage of your purchase, or like a toll where everyone's paying the same, $5, Billy, who makes more than me, it's a lesser percentage of his income. Okay, so those are the ones you got to read carefully, the tax. All right. So when they're talking like this tax meant to equal out distribution of income, that'd be progressive. The United States income tax, that's progressive. If they said the state of Maryland charges everyone 20% of their income, what type of tax is that? Proportion. The state of Maryland charges everyone $10 to drive on 695. That's regressive. Okay. So there that is. Okay. Yes, sir.
So like with regressive taxes, you said most of them are like just like say like sales tax and you're buying food. So it's kind of like a flat rate. It's like the same price for everyone. It's the percentage that changes.
It's the percentage of income. Because you and me are not making the same income. And that's how they're deciding are they regressive or progressive.
Well, is there like any examples where it's like they're like actually increasing the percentage and it's not just because other person makes more, but like they're
you mean like they're charging poor people 20% of their income and rich people 10%?
Yeah.
Not that I know. That'd be close to it, right?
Yeah, that would be a lot of that.
All right. I would say know the externalities graph inside out, and you should be good. 7:45 tonight. I'll be in here tomorrow morning. Have a great day. Oh, question 30. Don't leave, Billy. Is A. Question 30 is A. All right, are we betting $1 on each latte here?
I would do it. So I didn't take the quiz. I just have a copy of it so I can use it to study.
Yeah, if I knew where there was.
You can just send me an email.
Okay, if you send me an email, I'll find one for you.
I was gonna say, but
This is if I get 85 on this, then you owe me $50.
No, but I'll be shocked if you get under.
Really?
You're just so smart, man. That was out without the curve. What do you have? You're on my home. Yes. I'll try. Okay. What's you doing, Dennis? You already grinding? Okay, okay.
Great to see you too. All right.
Are you retaking this?
Did you put it in? Why did you put the quiz in?
Your quiz. Did you want me to put your quiz grade in?
No, thanks.
Okay.
Unless you let me retake it.
Charlie, I do what you tell me. I'm a puppet.